This horizontal business. Wow, wow, wee, wow. Would you look at that? Yeah, buddy. All right, let me rig up the microphone. Yeah, buddy. Mm. Yeah, buddy. There we go. Sup, ego? What's going on, brother? Check it out, man. Horizontal. That's kind of cool. When you work things out, it's like a breakthrough in training. Work something out. Sick. Sick. Morning stretch. That sounds good, man. I used to do that. Then I kind of gave it all up. Stretching and me, man. Back and forth, back and forth. Constantly back and forth with stretching. Good morning, Hakan, Dennis. Alrighty, let's. Uh, this pawn, hey, my man, he's trained my adductor. How to repair this? Haven't strained. Um, yeah, I have a similar thing going on with me, man. I screwed up my adductor as well a little while back. Uh, what I would recommend for you, man, is glute work. Uh, glute work, lots of glute work, side glutes, and just glutes in general. I reckon you'll feel that pretty well. The reason why I say glutes and not adductors directly is because glutes and adductors are opposite. You know, one adducts, the other one abducts. Um, and they're very, very much related in my mind. And so, uh, yeah, I think this is why my adductor feels better now is because I've gone to high reps. And the glutes have been getting a lot of work, especially since doing the deadlifts. My adductor hasn't felt bad at all. Especially in front squats, that's when I would feel it really badly. I'm doing front squats every day now, no pain at all. So I think some sort of pulling, or i.e. if you want to just do glute, you know, direct glute work, accessories, oscillations, or you can just do some sort of pulling. And when I say pulling, I'm talking about hip extension. And avoid kind of the squatty patterns for now, I think, is what I would tell you. All good, man. Mr. Anger, what's up? Bog Dog. What's happening, everyone? Bit of a different stream today with the horizontal setup. It's kind of exciting, really. Bisma, 93. What's happening, man? Alrighty. Let's warm these shoulders up. Are your kids into lifting yet? I saw a video where they were working out a bit. Do you encourage it, or will you let them find their own way? Find their own way. I'm always there doing, training around them. They can join in at any time. But trying to push them and all that stuff, nah, I'm not into that. All the things that I got into in my life have kind of been a passive thing because I found interest. My dad always supported me, would even go out and rebound for me back in the basketball days. But I don't force anyone to do anything, man. If you want to do it, you'll do it. If you don't, you don't. That's it. Kind of like, with YouTube, people always saying, subscribe, comment, like, share, all this stuff. I don't want to tell you any of that stuff. If you want to do it, you'll do it. If you don't, you don't. As simple as that. There's no point talking about it. I feel like when you fall in love with, a sport, everything else takes care of itself. And you can't really force love. You can't really force somebody to, fall in love with shooting a basketball or kicking a ball or throwing a baseball or whatever. That kind of just needs to happen. And no amount of science can make that happen. It's you just need to expose them to it, which I clearly do every day. And then after that, it's if they like it, they'll pick it up. If they don't, they don't. And yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously, I would love for them to get into it, but it's up to them. Was going through your old vids and was wondering if you will ever incorporate the jumping again. Bismarck 93, that jumping period was a very important period in my thought process, and I definitely wrote a lot about it. Jumping was a very interesting thing because it made everything feel good. It made everything feel good. Hips felt great. And I've theorized a lot about why that is, like what happened with jumping to do that. And since then I've kind of broken away and I've tried to dissect it a little bit, and as I often do, to try and work out what it is. And I couldn't really work it out exactly. There's something about power movements, and not just any old power movements. It's just like that jumping, sprinting movement. It's like a perfect blend of muscle firing, which kind of makes everything click well. If I was to go into a peaking block, if I was to go into, okay, I really want to express my strength, jumping is fantastic, man. It really is. It's like, it's the best way to go about it. It's basically a max effort movement without any weight on top of you. So you're trying to accelerate. That's what jump is. You're trying to accelerate your body through space. And if you do like a full-on, arm swing jump, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Big fan of it. Hayes, love watching before school and work with my brother. Your input is appreciated. Hey, thank you, Hayes, man. Always enjoy hearing feedback like that. Appreciate it, man. Sprinting, jumping has definitely made me feel more lubricated. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The only thing with sprinting, man, is I'm very, very careful with sprinting. Sprinting is something that I have huge respect for, and I definitely approach it with caution. And I've not sprinted, like proper sprinting, like, off a dead stop, power out, I remember when I was doing the running, I would have finish off with like a, sprint, but that's not really a sprint. When you're already running for X amount of time and then you sprint, that's kind of like just a burnout at the end. For me, a sprint is like you're stationary on a basketball court or football field or whatever, and you just go and all out, arms swinging up here, that kind of thing. Rotation of the body. The reason why that scares me is because so many things could go wrong. And I remember injuring way before the squat every day, way before the YouTube thing. I injured I think it was the left rectus femoris, man. I had this like quad strain, which was with me for such a long time, man. It was insane. I didn't squat for months on end. Months on end I didn't squat. It was just so freaking painful. I tried stretching, I tried massaging. It was such a bad strain. I felt it every step of walking. I remember going to work back then, like, very limited. I was very limited to how much I could squat down and just basically use a knee bend. And it was because of that, leg lift with extended hip. So my hip's going this way, my leg, and kind of like digging out of that. And something just went bang. I was doing hill sprints of all things. Back then we lived in a house where we were kind of like on a hilly neighborhood, and I know hills are great for sprints because they kind of take it easy on the hamstrings, and hamstrings are another thing that can definitely pop during sprinting. Sprinting is, especially for a body like mine now that I haven't played sports in a little while. I'm not athletic. I'm bulky now. I'm not what I used to be during the basketball days when I was 85, 90 kilos, even less. I'm like 20 kilos heavier now, man. And some of these ligaments, tendons, they haven't been conditioned to running and jumping. And so I'm very, very mindful of, how many people I've seen in ED come to emergency, like dudes in their 30s and 40s who once upon a time played a lot of sports, tennis, basketball, whatever, you name it. They're coming with Achilles, ruptures. They're coming with knee sprains, ACLs, all that stuff. It's because, our brain, and we still probably watch the sports, right? Our brain wants to do a certain thing, but our bodies have just deconditioned. And it's not so much about the muscle. You might be bulky as hell. You might be the strongest you've ever been, like me in my life. Never been stronger. But what about that Achilles tendon? Have you really conditioned that tendon to take the 20 extra kilos on top of your frame? The huge glutes now that you've kind of developed, and quads and hamstrings. Man, some of those tendons are not going to play with you, man. They're not going to behave. Hey, do you think it's a good idea to lowering the lower body training while trying to increase running speed? I run after every work, but not all of them are hit training. I think it's a good idea lowering lower body. Oh God, greetings, man. Do I think it's better to, I'm guessing what you're saying, decrease the resistant training for the lower body while you're running? Well, it just depends, man. It really depends on how hard you're gonna run. It depends on your goals. It depends on many, many things. It's very hard to answer some of these questions because I don't really know what you're after. I don't really know what the goals are. I don't really know why you're running. Why are you running? Are you running for a marathon? There's so many different things, and the answer might vary from person to person depending on the goals. If you're getting ready for a marathon, dude, you should, whatever, man. You don't have to lift a lot at all. Maybe just some rehab, in the gym to keep your hips, knees, and all that stuff happy, from all the running. But yeah, it just depends, man. I don't really know. Yeah, Bisma, I'll tell you, man, be very, very careful with the Achilles. You know, I don't know how many people I have seen tear their Achilles. The Achilles tendon or tendons in general will take a very, very long time to adapt, either decondition or build or recondition, let's say. When you're a kid, you're always running. When you're a teenager, you're playing sports and you're always putting those reps in. I haven't been putting those reps in for the last, let's say, good 10 years. I've played basketball here and there, but that's not the conditioning I'm talking about. You know, if you want to run, you need to have a very high frequency of tendon training. Tendons like high frequency. So you need to be hitting it often and not hard. Because when you go hard, things pop. So just be very careful. I can't overestimate or what's the word? Stress. I can't overstress the importance of taking it easy on those tendons. And sure, you can do your bloody ligaments in your knees and whatever. The Achilles tendon is devastating because even if you go down the surgery path, man, your leg is probably not going to be the same ever again. And you think about, you know, some of these professional athletes with millions of dollars of resources around them, even they come back and they look like a shadow of themselves. So just imagine a regular guy like you and I who do their Achilles. It's pretty much, it spells a very bad, you know, for your athletic career. My dad did his Achilles. I've mentioned this story in the past. It was Australian Open here. We were watching some tennis. After one of the matches, we decided to go, like it was like 5, 6 p.m. to a local tennis court. You know, we just wanted to have a hit. And literally the man, like I hit the tennis ball. It was literally the first time I hit the ball to him. We're just warming up. And I hit it short. I'm not a tennis player. I don't really know what the hell I'm doing, you know, myself. I hit it short and he just basically took a long step to try and reach to it, like a couple of steps. And he just collapsed and he did freaking this somersault thing that made me laugh at the time. I just started laughing at him. I'm like, dude, you're a freaking 60-year-old dude. Why are you doing this shit? Like, I know we're excited to have a hit, but why are you freaking rolling on the ground like a child? And then I realized he wasn't getting up and he was grabbing at his ankle. And I'm like, oh shit, he'd hurt himself. And then I went over to him and he was like, what the hell happened? Somebody hit me. You know, he was convinced that somebody hit him from the back. I'm like, dude, there's no one around us. And so anyway, after some conversation, I did a few tests on him and I realized that he did his Achilles and took him into ED and the whole thing, you know. They casted him and yeah, the following day or the following couple of days we saw the orthopedic surgeon and they offered surgery, but then they were like, look, you're just a regular guy, you don't need to do surgery and have all of these things. You can go down the conservative management. And anyway, he's now, I don't know, it's 10 years down the track. So he was probably like 50, 53 back then. You know, he's now 63, 64. 10 years down the track, you can see his leg. He's a skinny guy, whatever. You can see the left calf and the right calf are completely different. The injured Achilles leg, the calf is all the way up near the knee. It just looks deformed. Whereas the normal calf is now like lower sitting and normal looking. So when you do your Achilles, and it took him like 3 months in a moon boot, in this like big special boot that you adjusted over time. Lots of physio, off work. Like it was a big thing, man. Big thing. It was no joke. Michael, what's going on, man? How are you? I'd love to sprint too, but the explosive training is completely different than normal gym. Yeah, for sure. You gotta be very careful with it. I had Achilles pain too for about 6 years. Damn, just from running gets more dangerous the older you get. Absolutely. Do you feel like training SBD or other weight training assists in fortifying Achilles or similar tendons? Absolutely not. Bisma, I don't think it does anything for it. You see, the forces that you put your legs through when you are lifting weights is a fraction. It is so much smaller than the force of running. I think a lot of people don't realize how much force you're dealing with. When you are running, when you are jumping, the forces are like crazy stuff. Crazy. Think about it. Let's say you're a 100-kilo dude and you are running. There is a gravitational acceleration with every step. And so instead of the 100 kilos being dispersed onto 2 feet when you're squatting, let's say 100 kilos and then you put another 200 on top of you. So that's 200 kilos divided into 2. So let's say each leg is getting 100 kilos. Let's say even 150 kilos because your body weight is 100, right? So let's say 300 kilos in total, each leg is 150. So that's the force you're dealing with. When you are running, you have 100 kilos body weight going onto one leg. So each leg is now getting 100 kilos of pressure, of force. But then there is the falling each step for hundreds of steps, if not thousands of steps. And then when you put the acceleration, the speed of acceleration of gravity, these forces multiply so freaking quickly, man. It's so quickly. And that slapping on the ground each time, dude, like the forces of running are huge, absolutely huge. That's why they say like running is some of the most toughest for the joints, connective tissue. You know, the injury rates of running are much, much higher than weightlifting because the forces are huge. And so if you think about it, what is that shock absorber for us? The first line, it's the foot and the Achilles. The Achilles is the biggest tendon in the body, and it takes basically the brunt of that shock of absorption initially. And so not only that, but let's say you are now running from the start, you're sprinting. Now you're putting length into this shock absorber. So you now extended that Achilles to the maximum as you're stepping forward. So you put the Achilles down, you stretch it, and then you run. Okay, the first step is not so bad, let's say, but the next step is there's acceleration of the weight, 100 kilos through that Achilles, full stretch, slap. Dude, the forces are massive. And so, you know, when you're talking about, sports athletes, professional people, and they start to get later on in their career, it is of utmost importance that they keep that weight down, because shaving off even 4 or 5 kilos of your frame means huge dividends for your connective tissue in the lower body. It's massive. So someone like me at 36, 104, 105 kilos, not running for 10 years, let's say, deconditioned what I already have. Now this extra weight, extra force, extra strength, my calf is so much stronger than it was back then. Everything is now rigged up for me to snap that Achilles. It is perfect. You can still do it, don't get me wrong, you can still do it, but you have to like make sure you are doing it so slowly, man. No sprinting at all. If you're starting from the couch or you're starting from the gym and you want to get into running, no sprinting at all. You need to be jogging for like a long period of time. I'm talking like you need to jog for a year, a couple of times a week, at least 2-3 times a week. Even when I started, when I did my jogging a few years ago, I was doing it basically every day. I was doing like 1,000 meters just to jog. And then one day I decided I would, do a run before the weightlifting, and then a run as a cool down. And then in the cool down run, I decided to have a bit of a sprint. So I was running already for 1,000 meters, very small distance. And I thought, let me just sprint for the last 20 meters. And I felt a pull. Thank God it wasn't the Achilles. Oh my God. I felt a pull just where the Achilles ties into the calf. Scared the shit out of me, man. It scared the crap out of me, but I could do a few tests, and I realized that it wasn't the Achilles, it was a muscle strain. Thank God for that. But just approach carefully. That's all I'm saying to you, man. Approach very, very carefully. my teammates also injured themselves. I'm an amateur football player. Yeah, absolutely. Amateur league's always the worst injuries. Don't realize a 40-inch vertical leap for a 100-kilo guy requires like, yeah, over a ton of force to propel the body up against gravity. Crazy shit. Yeah, and then also the landing. The landing is also nuts. The one thing about Achilles is that everything eventually forces you to focus on weight training instead. Much more fun. Yeah. Heard from Dantel Trudel that at 34, severe injuries can start to happen. Someone knows that Achilles injuries in particular increasing in frequency starting at 34. Aging sucks. Yeah. I agree with everything you're saying. It makes perfect sense. I'm more so interested in doing sprinting and jumping training so I don't lose it as I continue to age. Oh yeah, Bisma, if you're definitely more difficult to manage. Yeah, Bisma, if you're interested in that being your primary goal, like athleticism, you can definitely make it work, man. Absolutely. You just need to periodize your training. You need to be all about that, and that's your main focus and like a key component of your training. But like what I'm saying is plugging in sprinting as a occasional supplement to weight training is too risky. I feel like sprinting deserves a lot of respect. Running deserves a lot of respect. That is not something that you just chuck in. I treat it kind of like the SBD, man. Like it deserves respect. You don't, you would never see a guy not deadlift for a long, long time and then, on his 3-4 months off deadlift come in and do a 1 RM without a warm up type thing. Just, that's what I related to, because sprinting is maximum effort. And he needs to get respected for sure. Sprint rowing is okay as a compromise though. Sprint rowing, yeah. Oh yeah, there's many things you can do. Focus, usually staying the bulk of my sprint training in the 664 cycles. Yeah, okay, fair enough. No, it sounds like you've got it all worked out, man, that you're approaching it really well. I just think it's important, when you hear people talk about this stuff, some 20-year-old guy is talking about sprinting and how valuable it is. And then some guy in his mid-30s, late 30s, early 40s is like, oh, cool, I'll do that. No, dude, you're a different stage of life. You live a different life. You're not a child, whereas a 20-year-old has just been running all his life up until that point, I look at my kids, man. Like you tell them to go to the bedroom to get something, they don't walk to the bedroom. They're running to the bedroom. Like they run for like moving. I don't run at all. Like I never run. When we go to work, like running is discouraged. We don't like to see people running. You're not allowed to run at work. So it's kind of like, it's weird. It's just, yeah. It's sad actually. It's sad that we're not running anymore, but yeah. I would love to sprint, and I was actually quite good sprinting when I was younger. That was probably like my best skill in basketball. I was very quick off the first couple of steps. Always had that ability to explode from a stationary start. Not to say that I would be a very good sprinter in 100 meters, although I was one of the best ones in school, even in that. But my thing was the first few steps, exploding out of the hole. And then you obviously, I've added a lot of strength over the years. And so, technically speaking, I'm much more better at that first digging stage of sprinting. I don't trust my Achilles. And even if I look at my Achilles right now and I just rub my finger over it, it seems to me that it's atrophied. To me, it seems a lot thinner than I remember it to be. So I'm thinner Achilles, 20 kilo extra heavier weight. It's one of those things, man. Like you don't want to mess around with it. Oh, all right. That's it for that. Shoulders are now nice and warmed up. And I think the same could be said for like other parts of your body, not just Achilles. You know, the shoulders as well. I'll probably argue that my shoulder tendons are much stronger. Much stronger than they were when I was younger. You know, because I'm handling much better forces through my upper body now. So it's kind of, I've made this straight, like my. So when you say the word athletics, you're talking about the lower body predominantly. So when I was a kid, my upper body was nothing, man. I was a weakling. But now my upper body's strong and capable, and everything's very strong. Even my lower body is just that ankle to Achilles level. I don't trust it anymore, man. It's because I haven't been running and jumping. You know. Do you guys see a lot of injuries due to athletics at your job? I'd imagine not most of you, probably some of you, the same reasons you've spoken already. Yeah, for sure. That's what I said. Lots of injuries, man. Especially on Saturdays and Sundays, people are snapping all sorts of stuff. And it's these guys that are playing social, amateur level stuff. Those are the guys that get injured real badly. Yeah, because they do a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. They sit on their ass for most of their stuff, most of their life. And then they, on Friday night or Saturday, whatever, they go to these social events, sporting events, and they break stuff. That's what happened to me, man. That's how I rolled my ankles. It wasn't when I was playing club and I was very serious. It was when I started playing social sports. Yeah, ego. That's right. I'll never forget the Kevin Durant when he smashed his, man. Oh my God. So freaking sore. Man, what a stretch that first lay down on the bench. I could fall asleep instantly. Oh man. Oh man, that back. Yeah, spot on, Bisma. That's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, that's right. That's the biggest takeaway from all of this is that all this high rep business hasn't made me weaker. It's actually I made a PR on the bench press doing sets of 20 to 30. That's the funniest thing of all. Yeah, work that out. Use your favorite theory to explain that. Lots of high reps keeps the body healthy. When the body feels healthy, you feel the strongest. So, you know, it's kind of like best of all worlds. Oh, this landscape business is pretty good, man. I feel like it's better coverage. Oh. Oh, man. Look at that. Oh my goodness. You guys get to see everything. Finally worked out how to put it in landscape after all these days. Let's see if I can get a fourth set today of 23. That'll be good. These morning sessions are always on an empty stomach. But it doesn't seem to impact me badly at all. Oh man. Back is so sore from deads. So freaking sore. All right. Try high rep training probably in 3 months. Yeah, it seems like everyone has this negative opinion of high reps. It's interesting. I wonder where all that comes from. It's like the traditional thinking is, you know, anything over 5 is cardio. It's like such a bad label. Oh my goodness. Especially when there's so many examples around the place of people using high reps to do, you know, get crazy strength and stuff. It's interesting. Alrighty, now let's try. Chest is feeling long. It's good. Let's try and get the first 23 nice and strong. Yeah, I blame powerlifters as well. Yeah, powerlifting. I reckon powerlifting and even more so like the geared powerlifting, like with the shirts and the suits. all of that stuff. I think these guys have really made singles, doubles, triples. Like that's the whole sport. It's funny, man. Funny stuff. You know, it's almost like watching. You know, you look at the NBA players, the sport that I follow closely. You see Steph Curry, you see Kevin Durant, you see LeBron. You see them like practicing these like advanced movements, advanced moves, you know, all this stuff. And then you see kids practicing that, and you're like, why the hell are you doing that? Like you're a rookie muffin. You need to practice your basics. So there are certain things that I think we see somebody really good do, and we're like, we'll do that. No, no, no. You can't do what an elite athlete does. You need to, you know, reverse engineer that and start where they started. They didn't start with fadeaway jump shots, man. They didn't start with hook shots. You know, they didn't start with like some of these crazy 3-point shots from like bloody 35, 40 feet. You don't do that. Gretel, hello. You know, you start with the basics, man. Start with layups. Start with like, nice teardrops, like, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's the evolution, really. Monkey see, monkey do type thing. Alrighty. Oh my god. Every time I gotta stretch my back. I feel like deadlifts are not a good mix to bench. I'm broken, man. Freaking broken for these bench sessions. Squatting was so much easier with the SSB. With the deadlifts, I've got freaking sore back, traps, lats. Everything sore. Oh my god, my back is so bad. Oh. Oh man. Thank you, Gretel. Oh, I lost my voice doing that bench. I don't think I'm gonna do another deadlift session for another week. So freaking sore. I can't arch at all properly. I can't arch on the bench press at all. I think the leg drives died as well because my erectors are killing me. Sore erectors impact the bench. There you go. Hey, Bisma. You have a good sleep, man. I'll see you in the next one. Good night, man. Yeah, the erectors are fried, man. Pulled up really, really sore yesterday after those 7 sets of 5 on 200 on the deadlift. Oh, man. Traps, lats, erectors, done. Absolutely spent, man. So 2 days off of bench press completely. And today I come back and the expectation is to go nuts, but oh my god, he moves so slowly. The first set is exhausted. So probably the nervous system is fried as well now. Oh Lord. It goes back to what I was saying before. What's up, Chris? Good to see you, man. What I was saying before about, you know, just focusing on one movement. You know, for a while now, I was smashing the SSB squat and the bench press, and it was going well. Now I'm pushing the deadlift and also the bench, and now there's conflict. Because, you know, when you have a screwed up back, you can't arch, the bench press suffers. So, I don't know, man. I think I'll just have to once a week deadlift or something. I mean, that's the best I could do anyway. Like, the back is that fried. Yeah. Jacob, spot on, man. Yeah, and the reason why I came up with that idea to talk about that in yesterday's videos was because, like, yesterday I did an early shift, so I woke up at 6 a.m., run around, work, you know, all that stuff, come home, you know, family commitments, and the soonest I could train was like 7:15 p.m. And I'm like, I'm so exhausted, man, so tired from everything. Sore as hell from the deadlift the day before. I'm just hurting, and I'm like, damn, okay, let's do a quick one. And I'm doing the warm up and whatever, and I thought to myself, with everything that's going on with me right now, there are some people who haven't trained at all. They're fully fresh. They're not sore at all. They've come home at 5 p.m. and they can't even do this. They can't do a 12-minute. Get out of here, man. I'm training while broken, tired from, you know, and no time, and it's cold. And there's people saying that they don't have time. It's not the time. It's just the wrong excuse. Use another excuse. The other excuse being, I don't want to. I just don't want to be uncomfortable. Whatever. You don't want to do that, that's cool. But never say time, not to me. Not going to buy it. With no responsibilities, how can I not go to the gym like you, man, with all of your responsibilities? Jacob, absolutely. And dude, like, if you set the habit now, even as the responsibilities start to mount in your life and you find a partner and you start, you know, have a family, you know, house, cars, career, all that stuff that goes with it, that habit will stay there. But just, you know, and you know, the funny thing about all of that is if you have these habits now, you will probably marry a girl that respects those habits. But starting a habit after you already started a life with somebody that, you know, never saw you with those habits, then you got to fight that as well. It's like, oh my God, I married this guy. He was never about training. Now he wants to train like 2 hours a day. Like, screw this guy. You know, so get it in nice and early, and you'll attract the right person, and that person will support you in that habit because she was maybe attracted to you because of that habit. And so it all kind of comes to you know, it all makes sense eventually. So good on you for doing it now. Ooh. Able to spread the positivity. Nice. Thank you, Jacob, man. Always appreciate it, man. What is your bench PR right now? 155. That's the best I've done. But let's see what happens after this block of crazy training. I'm building a big base. I'm getting ready for something special, but let's see. No promises until I do it, hey? How many reps are we up to at the moment? As like an AMRAP, I've done 27. 27 reps. I got 3 more to do to get to the crazy 30 repper. So let's see if I can push the bench and the bench at the same time. Bench and deadlift at the same time, rather, not what I said. Thank you, William. Thank you, man. Yeah, so I'm working with 23 as the minimum sets. Those are my working sets. I can get 27 in one hit. Hopefully I'll get 28, 29 or 30 soon. Just gotta develop more capacity to get to that level. You'd think to yourself, oh, it's 3 more reps, but man, you gotta be able to survive the first 25 somewhat unscathed to attack the 30. Whew. Basically what it means is I need a bigger chest. That's what that means. When you get a bigger chest, then you can start to do 30 reps with 100. It's okay. Keep at it. It'll come. Nice. Good stuff, man. 19, 20 reps, and then soon it's going to be 25. Eventually you'll get to 30, and then you can start to move the weight. Must just be as intense as sprinting. Really impressive, man. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I'm really trying to make the bar feel lighter in my hands. Even though I'm doing high repetitions, I'm really trying to manhandle that thing. I don't want to just like survive each rep kind of thing. Now I really want to like throw it. Because that throwing type of sensation is what you will need to do with the heavy weight. You can't half-ass a 1 rep max. So I'm kind of treating the 100 kilos like it's really heavy, like much more heavier. And I'm trying to fucking just, you know, accelerate it. Hey, thank you, man. Powerlifting and Catherine NT, that's awesome, man. Good on you, mate. Jacob. A question I have for you, Ivan, is why did you ever try to become a physiotherapist? Another question was, when do you consider someone advanced at lifting? Oh, the first question is easy, man. In high school, I wasn't very committed to study at all. Physiotherapy was always an interesting thing for me, but I didn't score enough points in my year 12, you know, so my high school score wasn't good enough at all. I was lucky to get enough points to get into nursing. And the idea was to kind of get out of nursing. I'd never thought it was going to fit me well. And I was immature back then. I was like, I'm not a gay guy. Why am I in nursing type thing, you know? But then I liked nursing. I really did. I went to some of these placements and one thing led to another. I kind of liked the work, liked the people, liked helping. And so I stayed in it. But physiotherapy is probably my thing, you know. That's probably what I'm all about. I'm just in the wrong career, let's say. But nursing is kind of cool in the sense that, you know, I always think to myself, oh, should I go to physiotherapy eventually and do physiotherapy? Maybe once all of the kids are in school, I'll have a bit more free time. Maybe I can study physiotherapy. The research room is cool, man. Physios don't go in the research room. And nursing is, that emergency nursing, it is so cool, man. It is so cool to be part of. You're working with emergency specialists, intensive care, cardiologists, surgeons. Everyone's there in the resource room, and you learn a lot. And for me, that's the biggest thing. If I'm learning, I'm happy. Even though I might be learning something that I don't particularly have interest in, it's kind of still cool. It's the human body. So even though I'd love to be a physio, I picked the wrong lane. Or let's say I wasn't smart enough in year 12. I basically didn't even care in year 12, to be honest with you, man. And it just turns out to be that physiotherapy is like a huge entry score. Like, you know, kids need to have like basically a 99 out of 100 score for year 12. It's just insane how difficult it is to get to physio. But now, as a postgraduate, I could probably get in now, you know. But yeah. Alrighty. Let's see if I can pump out a third set here. I don't think I can. I'm exhausted, man. I'm freaking exhausted. Oh. Well, that was the best set. That moved pretty good. Five years ago. How far are you through physio now, man? Are you finished? You're probably finished by now, right? 3-year degree. Ah, in the US it's after an undergraduate. The big cool guy. What's up, man? How are you? Pretty unique, man. Speaks perfectly to the idea that anyone has time to do it. Yeah, man. throwing that 100 kilos like it's a feather. Try to make it a feather, even though it's not. And when you get to 30 reps, you kind of say to it, yeah, you're a feather. I can do you for 30. It's a good conquering feeling. Get those shoulders. Oh, nice, Jacob. Good stuff. Physios. Yeah, I'd love to be a physio, man. That would be great. Talk this all the time. That would be sick. The big cool guy. That's okay, man. Get the barbell down to 60 and then start repping. Get 10, 15 reps, try and work to 20. You know. Mind catching alive. Ultimate recommendation for someone going from 100 kilos to 115 a year, goal-wise. 1 RM. Is that on the bench? You talking bench? Oh, on the bench. Look, man. High reps. High reps, dude. Spend most of your time with 2 plates, or even less, and just try and add reps on reps on reps on reps. That's gonna give you that muscular tissue, contractile tissue to be able to push heavy weight. More so than any other lift, I think bench press is more about bodybuilding than anything. You gotta add some size, man. It's legit one of the huge reasons I'm going for the path. And for what you say in the nursing, I love helping people get better. Yeah, man. Spot on. Jacob, I love it. It's a great feeling. Healthcare is the special thing about healthcare is that there's always this sensation that you're not just there for the money, like you're actually getting more than just a paycheck. I think that's cool, man. I personally think that's really cool. I've got terrible endurance, so maybe it's psychological. I gas out and just stop at 10 reps with weights from 100 to 130. Yeah. Well, it's probably just an endurance thing. It's like anything, man. You got to just train it. You got to train that tissue to be more resilient to fatigue. You got to train that tissue to be able to function under less than optimal circumstances. You know, not enough oxygen around the place, bit of lactates around the place, things are burning. And you teach that tissue to kind of adapt to that. Usually in the form of hypertrophy, really, if you think about it. Hypertrophy is just a whole bunch of glycogen stores and everything you need to contract the tissue when the oxygen depletion happens. That's kind of all that really is. It's just a storage facility on site. You know, you just got more storage for crisis scenarios. Back to running. Remember you doing it for a few videos. Yeah, running. I spoke to maybe a half an hour ago on the stream today. I spoke a lot about running. It's great, man, but like it needs to be treated with respect. It needs to be properly trained. Otherwise, you can get injured very easily. And if running is not your goal, running is a very, very costly accessory to take part in. Knees, hips, backs, ankles, Achilles, soft tissues, everything gets demolished in running, and it's a completely different adaptation to what I'm after. I'm after power, strength, explosion, and running is this other form of training which asks the body to adapt in a different way, and I feel like they are a seesaw battle. And so when you're a natural and you got steep goals in strength, you don't want to be sending the wrong adaptation signals to the body, because that's really going to hamstring you towards your primary goal. So it's all about selecting the right stuff. Exercise selection is very important for you to get to your goal. You don't want to have things that are completely opposites, man. Very, very hard to live like that. All right. Oh my God, my back. I keep saying my back. My back is so freaking sore, man. But let me try and get the fourth set here. So that was 4 sets. Advanced lift with my current deadlift is 190. No, I'd say you're an intermediate, man. I'd say probably you're an intermediate. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I consider myself as an intermediate as well when you see things online and whatever. Maybe I'm a late intermediate, I don't know. So you're 86 kilos. Let's say you're 80 kilos. And you're doing that. So that's, yeah, that's not 3 times body weight, is it? Deadlift. I feel like when you get to 3 times body weight deadlift, then you're like advanced, I think. Caleb, you think 2.5 is advanced or? I guess some of these things are like subjective. I don't really know. The reason why I don't think I'm advanced is because my squat is not good. If my squat was like 240, 250, okay, then I'm advanced. Yeah, okay, that's what he's doing. Yeah, so if my squat was like 250, 2.5 body time, 2.5 body weight, that would be all right. Then I'd feel like I'm advanced. So I guess for me to call myself advanced, I would need to be 160 bench, 250 squat, 300 deadlift, I think. Yeah. No, I feel like I think we need to reserve advanced for like, you know, legit pushing 3 times bodyweight deadlift and 2.5 squat. And it will probably make mathematical sense to say 2 times bench, but that's way too much, I think. Maybe like 1.7, 1.6, something like that for the bench. Yeah, oh, absolutely. If you're 75 kilos, then you're getting up there, man. Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. But also I think like to become advanced, most people need to put in a decade, man. You know, this shit doesn't happen overnight for most of us. Some people like put in a few years and they, well, who knows what they're up to, but advanced is like 15 years of training, 10 plus years of training. I mean, I've already crossed, I'm now in my 11th year, 12th year. 12th year of training, you know, pretty seriously. I keep saying that I started training at 25, but I had trained earlier than that. It's just earlier than that, I was just kind of like whatever, still playing basketball a little bit. You know, I'll squat then, I'll squat here, and I'll squat once a week. And I didn't really understand what the shit was about, you know. I got my gym at 23 and a half, something like that, I want to say. 24, I'm getting my dates wrong. At 23, I think my girlfriend and I moved in then, and we didn't jump on the whole home gym straight away. Maybe it was 25 that we got the gym. Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, when I got this stuff at home, I was like, all right, sick. Let me hit it. Yeah, I get so warm and fuzzy when I think about the day I got the gym. Oh my goodness. What a great day that was. Fuck. Bloody beautiful, mate. You're 5 years lifting. Yeah, there you go. There are graphs and tables from power lifting that classify lifters and for most advanced. People should check them out. Oh, okay. So what am I? Am I advanced? Probably not. Like if you look at some of those graphs from competitions, I think I'm intermediate, surely. Or maybe I'm advanced. Maybe I'm advanced and then the next level is elite. Maybe they've got another freaking level to it. If there's 4 levels, then yeah, maybe I'm advanced. But I can't be part of the big boys, not yet. Oh, goodness. Yeah, okay. So there is elite. Yeah. If there's elite, then I'm probably advanced. Probably. I'd say. Don't know. It's hard to know these things. Because, you know, when I told you I met a guy, he was a patient. He had a 400 squat, 300 bench. And 400 deadlift, I think he said. Which is hard to believe. I don't know if I believe that. 400 deadlift? Nah, man. That's unreal. Yeah, IPF Worlds. Yeah. So maybe there's 6 levels to this. IPF Worlds, man. Those dudes. I feel like those guys have truly worked out what it's about. I gotta go do another bloody bench press set. I gotta do another one. Don't want to do this, but I gotta go do it. Oh. Fuck it, that's 5. Freaking terrible. Terrible exhaustion. Look at my hands. Can you see my hands? Look at that. That thing there, callus. I didn't have that before the bench pressing. Destroying my hands, man. My beautiful hands. Oh, goodness. All right. Well, I'm glad that's over. Holy shit. These plates have completely come off. I'll do some hip stuff and then a quick front squat. Do you find that swearing in English or Serbian hits harder during lifts? Oh, Serbian for sure, man. I feel like English, there's not enough venom in it. When I swear in Serbian, I feel like I'm really having at it, you know? You want some Serbian swear words? Probably the most common one, which is funny as hell because in English it translates to be very, very bad, but in Serbian it's like, hello, how you going type thing. It's, there's probably 3 words. Mamu ti jebem. So mamu is mum, ti is your, jebem is fuck. Mamu ti jebem. That's probably the most common thing, and it's fuck your mother, basically. It's probably the most common one. I don't teach a lot of people swear words because it's the wrong thing to do, but here I am teaching 20 blokes how to do it. Mamu ti jebem. I said that quite a lot actually when I'm angry. And it's a very, very common thing. It's kind of like saying fuck you in English, you know. In Serbian, we don't say fuck you, we say fuck your mother. Which is a vulgar freaking culture, but it's just funny, man. Like when you translate some of these swear words, you're like, holy shit. You know, it's disgusting. You would never say that in, you know, in English, right? It just doesn't hit the same. What's a Serbian Bosnian dish where rice is wrapped in cabbage? Oh, my brain. Sarma. Minced meat, rice, it's called sarma. I love that stuff. Any occasion that's happening in Bosnia and Serbia and Croatia, there's sarma there. Sarma's everywhere. And of course, the cabbage needs to be prepared. It needs to be, you know, put in a barrel and salted and waited for freaking months on end. And then you dig it out and you make the wraps, the rolls. But yeah. I'll do another one of those, and then we'll be good for the front squat. Favorite dishes. Vitor from Croatia, you know all about it, I'm sure. I'm fluent in Albanian and Greek, and Mom swears always the worst thing to say. Yeah. So boys, this is a PR for me. 5 sets of 23. We are moving ahead in life. This is excellent. We're moving ahead. Very good day. Quaid, when's the cameraman gonna come back and live with you next? Oh, the cameraman he's dropped out. Life just got busy, man. He's got 2 kids, I've got 3 kids, you know, full-time work. It's a lot. You know, he comes occasionally, but it's not a frequent thing like it used to be back in the day. You know, when I started to, you know, increase my hours at the hospital again, after COVID kind of started lifting and whatever, I'm just working too much. He's working too much. It gets too much. But, you know, YouTube used to pay me a lot more during the COVID era. And so when that kind of started dropping off, I started increasing my hours at the hospital. And just by the virtue of that, it started being harder to kind of line up with him. Just because we're working more now, and you know, he's got obviously family commitments and stuff, so it's all fallen out of rotation. But I'm sure if I was a full-time YouTuber and had the flexibility and not the hospital work and the shift work and the nights and whatever, we could probably still make it work. But it's just when you have a shift worker and a 9 to 5er and you got all this other stuff happening, it's very hard to kind of merge together. And so as I started working more at the hospital, you started seeing less and less of those videos where he's recording, which is kind of sad, but I'd love to kind of kept that going, but it's hard, man. You know, it's hard with shift work. You know, I've got work today, so how, you know, he's got work today, so it's very difficult. But if one of us doesn't have work, then it's straight away easier. Then I work on his schedule, you know what I mean? But if I work and he works and I opposite shifts, it's just tough. It's too tough. So now this thing is a very much a, you know, a solo thing for me, whereas before, like, there was probably like a 18-month, I want to say maybe even a 2-year period that he was basically in the videos 2-3 times a week, probably, at least bare minimum once a week, you know. And these were the days that we were going to the gym all the time and stuff, and it was yeah, we had no idea how good we had it back then. And then his son was born some 3 years ago. Yeah, it's just changed. Everything changed. But what do you do? That's life, man. Keep it moving. I still see him like as a mate. Don't get me wrong. He's just for the videos. It's not the same. Alrighty. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Now, how is this gonna look? Wow, look at that. Bloody beautiful, man. Oh my God, my wrists are gonna explode. I don't think I'm gonna have a lot of front squatting power left in me today. Oh. Bloody screwed, mate. Yeah, that's all I got. Fuck. My back is killing me. Oof. These freaking deadlifts. Taking everything out of me. All right, let's take this thing down. Alrighty. Boys, boys, boys. What did I miss, eh? you spend much time practicing more traditional meditation, or is it mostly during lifting that it comes out? Yeah, I've done a little bit of like, you know, meditation. I've experimented in the past, but like for me, being stationary, cross-legged, sitting there, focusing on my breathing doesn't work well. For me, what I like is when I'm moving and the thoughts come easier to me, like there's a flow state. But yeah, I don't know. This is my meditation. This is it. Miz, man, how are you? I've just finished up. About to get ready for work, get out of here. Freaking exhausted. I don't know how I'm going to go to work today. That's why people don't do deadlifts, I guess. It's too freaking costly. Can't even bloody go to work without a backache. Yeah, I'm sure like anything, once you get there, it's okay. It's just the thought of doing the work is tough, but once you're already there and you go with the flow with everyone else, then it's okay. You forget about the backaches. All right, lads, on that note, let me get out of here. I'm going to get out of here, go shower and prepare, maybe eat something, and get on with it. Like always, much appreciated. Miz, I'll catch you in the next one. Probably tomorrow's going to be a later one. So fast forward this about 9 hours, and I'll probably be there. All right, guys. Peace out. Catch you in the next one.